CJOB.
I don't know what it is right now. It's just things aren't clicking. Things aren't going our way. But we need to figure out in that bottom nine. Someone's got to step up. Line's got to step up. Someone's got to come in and you just need a puck to. Someone just needs one to go off their behind or something or whatever it is to get the floodgates going. And once we kind of get one, we'll get some confidence in the group and mojo going. And then I think the floodgates will go. And it's just right now we get a grade A as a bottom nine right now, and either great defensive play, great save, hit the post, unlucky bounce, whatever it is. It's crazy right now.
That's forward Cole Perfetti on the 680 CJOB Sports Show. Jets lose 4-3 to the Washington Capitals. Jets at noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from my good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. For gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim, I don't know if you know this, but over the last 6 games, hello, Jim Toth, by the way.
Hello.
Over the last 6 games, Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabriel Vilardi have combined for 21 points over the last 6 games. How much has the other 9 forwards on the Winnipeg Jets combined for over that period of time?
2?
9 points to the 21 on the top line.
More than I was giving them credit for, right?
Yeah.
Way more.
So things have slowed down, and something's got to give. Is there a trade? Is there something out there for the Winnipeg Jets to do? And the biggest question is, are there any sellers with things so tight? And we're happy to welcome on David Pagnotta, editor-in-chief of thefourthperiod.com, onto the show. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good, Dave.
Fantastic. So is there any sellers? Is there anybody willing to make a trade here with so much parity in the National Hockey League, David?
Yeah, there are the sellers. There are some that are out there that have made it known that they're willing to listen. That includes obviously Vancouver sending out their list and memo to everybody earlier this week. The St. Louis Blues, Nashville Predators, Calgary Flames are still in that vicinity. Although I still think they're a couple of weeks away from accepting their fate. With where they're going. The East is a little more jumbled, and I got to imagine Buffalo enters that mix now. There are some options, but because there are only a handful, you're probably going to have to overpay a little bit if you want an immediate upgrade within your roster. And, yes, you guys were just talking about it. It'd be nice to have more contributions from the bottom 6, the bottom 9, however you want to call it, to get depth scoring back up and running would certainly be a plus for this group. And they are looking, we do know, as it's been, well reported, Brand Lambert is a player that they're willing to dangle. Heinola, another one. So they have pieces they're willing to move. It's just a matter of finding the right environment to move them to in order to bring back an asset that's going to help you immediately. And as we know, when you get into a little bit of a funk, more so than ever, teams are not in a position to be willing to throw any lifelines your way. So, the Jets certainly hope that they can find some answers internally before having to perhaps look outside the outside the roster. And given what the price tags are like, again, you got to overpay at this point. I don't know if that's something that's part of Chevy's MO.
Yeah, I don't know either. And then I'm also reminded that whenever you get new territory in the 15 years of Kevin Cheveldayoff, he does new things, right? Like he goes and gets Paul Stastny and he goes and does other things. And the last couple of years that they've been in contention, he gets off that first 6, 7, 8 year mode of sort of building to just let's make some tweaks. If he is looking for something, David, what do you think it is? Like, what do you have a feel that he might have made a call or two about?
Well, look, it's the window is open. The window is wide open, and the Jets want to keep it open as much as they can, which is why, we've seen him making those types of moves in the last couple of years. You look at this team, obviously, you're not touching the first line. Those guys are rolling and playing well, but you want to find ways to get the rest of the group going, and it's right now it's secondary scoring. So if there is an avenue that he wants to improve upon, I've got to imagine that, finding somebody that fits a mid-6 role, as at the same time trying to get guys going here, that's kind of the direction that I think he would like to go in. It'd certainly be nice to see some of these other guys contributing a little bit more, whether it's, Nemestikov or Pearson or, whomever. Niederreiter only has 4 goals on the season. It'd be nice to get a little bit more out of them. Cole Perfetti, yes, he missed time, but as well, just, less than a point a game, not even a point a game, but less than half right now with 3 points. You want to see more out of that. And I think that if there is an avenue that Cheveldayoff can look to improve upon right now, I've got to imagine it's finding somebody who can be an offensive threat from a secondary scoring level.
When you talk about overpaying, I mean, if there was something available right now for the Jets, would it be Lambert, Heinola, and a pick, or would it just be one of those prospects and something else?
Well, it's going to, it certainly depend on that type of player. If you're looking at a guy like, for example, Kiefer Sherwood in Vancouver, I've got to imagine it's them plus. The asking price for him right now includes a first-round pick, plus based on what he's capable of doing offensively, what he's capable of doing physically, and a sweetheart cap hit at $1.5 million. So all of those, that's a bit of a trifecta right there in terms of an asset that you're trying to bring in because he checks so many boxes. If you want to look elsewhere to see what other options may be available, then the price kind of, it fits within a Lambert, perhaps a Lambert plus, type in order to find what you're looking for. But if you're looking for somebody that's a little bit more impactful, like a Sherwood, for example, I've got to imagine the right package has to be in place, and it's going to cost you.
David, you came on in the summer and people were kicking around the names McTavish and Rossi and what it would take. And I think you opened a lot of Jets fans' eyes to the point of if you want somebody like that, it's talent in, talent out. Like something like that would cost you Cole Perfetti. I think that's the reminder right now, right? Like I know Vancouver will take a first-round pick and stuff, but they also need some bodies and somebody has to go. And in my experience over 15 years, Jets fans love to give away the Mark Stewarts or the Chris Thorburns thinking they're going to get a top 6 person, and that's just not the case, right? Like, what are some of these teams looking for, like Nashville and Vancouver and further along that line, like could they get Brock Besser they went after in this summer? And I don't know if Brock Besser signed there other than wanting to be there and wanting to make this work, but not for a rebuild. Is that too big of an ask right now with Vancouver?
I don't see an environment where a guy like Brock Besser is moved or available or even willing to do it. He's got the no move. Jake DeBrusk, similar situation, goal scorer who can certainly help you, committed there. And he has full control.
They all have no moves, though. Like in Vancouver, they all do, except for Kane, and he's got 16.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're committing to these players and you're giving them basically full control, and yes, there are circumstances that we've seen in the past where guys with no movement clauses, waive them, in order to get out of an environment. But those aren't frequent things. Those are circumstantial. When you're giving out those types of contracts or those clauses in the contracts, you've got to be prepared to kind of be in a position where if things don't go well, you're forced, you're handcuffed. If you're looking for those kinds of pieces, I look elsewhere. I look to the Nashvilles and the St. Louis's right now. And circumstantially, Jordan Kyrou, full no trade clause. But my understanding is in the right environment, there's a willingness to explore the possibility of waiving that no trade. Now that's a player, he's got a big cap hit at 8.25. So you're going to have to find a way to make the money work. But at the same time, that caliber player, he's going to cost you. And, it's going to cost you a Perfetti. It's going to cost you other assets to kind of pry him out of St. Louis. If you want a Ryan O'Reilly, it's not going to necessarily cost you a guy like Perfetti, but it's going to cost you a top prospect and a first-round pick as part of it. So you're going to have to be able to bite down and be comfortable in giving a solid asset or two or a premium package in order to upgrade your club, even if these players are available.
David Pagnotta, editor-in-chief of thefourthperiod.com. David, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for your insight. You take care, okay? Talk soon.
You got it, guys. Take it here.
Have a good one.
Thanks, David. Yeah. Always a great follow.
You know what? It's just the way that he just lays it down and just gives a reality check.
You're not getting Jordan Kyrou in a division trade for picks and prospects.
It's also the fact, and am I somebody that's leaning towards the Winnipeg Jets making a trade if there's one? I would do it right now, and that is an irregular opinion from myself. just where this team is struggling. If there was a trade to make that makes the Winnipeg Jets better, I would. But the reality is given where the teams are and the fact that there aren't many sellers and how tight things are, and the Winnipeg Jets right now, losers of 7 of their last 10, nobody else in the NHL is going to be doing them any favors. The cost is going to go up, and it's probably too high to justify making any of these moves. So what's the reality? It's battle through. That's what the Winnipeg Jets have to do.
Well, and back to Cole Perfetti's comments, which I listened on the postgame last night, and I rarely do this, but I felt for him. I was this guy's just, but they all are, and he's not wrong, Cam. Somebody in the bottom 9 has to start scoring. And we don't have to look at young guys. We don't have to we have to look at everybody. Mm-hmm. Niederreiter, score a goal. Iafallo, Taves. Nemesnikov. Like, these are guys that
Barron. Everybody was saying Barron should be the second line center because he had a hot start. We need a goal. Pearson.
Now, I get
Gustav Nyquist.
I get what Perfetti's saying because I see it. They're getting chances. And they're not burying them. And the bounces in Minnesota, like the goal line bounces where they just an inch or a stick waves over top or something to get a goal in, that's not falling for them right now. I get that. But this is the National Hockey League. And you've lost 3 in a row and you've only won 3 in your last 10. It can't just be the top line. And I rarely do this because I believe in the Niederreiters and all that and blah, blah, blah. But it's time. You've got to be a difference.
204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline as well. Open 24/7, 204-780-6800.
As Alan Vigneault once said, sorry, go ahead.
Boston Pizza, come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15, only at BP. Go ahead, Jim.
Alan Vigneault at a Moose practice once blew the practice dead after a breakaway drill and just took 2 seconds to let everything settle. And he said, hey, Jason Jaffrey, how about you score a goal once in a while? And I was like, holy cow. Mm. And Jaffrey put his head down, was embarrassed in front of the team, but then I think he scored in 6 straight games or something. Like, I could be exact, but he started scoring after that. I'm at that point with the team. Like, I know Scott O'Neill's not going to do that because these are veteran players and they know it. But a couple of them got to score a goal once in a while now.
We're going to continue to unpack the game. We haven't
it's tough, right?
Yeah, we have not dug into it yet.
They're fighting it.
I didn't like how the Jets played against Washington. I didn't like how they played.
Well, I saw that they played better, but they still gave too much up the middle. I didn't like it either, actually. We'll talk about it.
I want to get into it. I want to explain to you exactly why I did not like their game against the Washington Capitals when we come back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Jets at noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
What did you think about last night's game? 204-780-6868, 204-780-6868. Hey, we got some exciting news. Chris Pronger is going to be on the show on Monday.
That is exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited to have Chris on the program.
President of the Evan Bouchard fan club.
I thought you were the president.
And a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I thought you were.
I do like Evan Bouchard. I have him on my fantasy. I've had him for years.
What a mistake.
Him every year. I love him.
What a mistake.
You don't get points for giving up goals. I love Evan Bouchard.
What did we think about last night's game? We dig into it. I didn't like the way the Winnipeg Jets played. We'll explain when we come back.
I mean, it's not great. It sucks to lose. We know it. But nobody's quitting here. Nobody's doing anything. We're just going to keep showing up, keep playing. I think we've talked about it, and I'm not sure if Barney's talked about it to you guys, but I feel like we've made progressions in different areas of our game. But at the end of the day, it is a results-driven business, and we need to start winning. And it sucks right now.
That's Gabe Vilardi. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line to win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jets losers 4-3 to the Washington Capitals. Have lost 7 of their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. The top line of Vilardi, Scheifele, and Kyle Connor have produced 21 points over the past 6 games. The rest of the forward group, the other 9, have only produced 9 total. The Winnipeg Jets, slow in secondary scoring, almost to a near crawl, Jim Toth. And I didn't like the Jets game. I didn't like it. I didn't think they did enough to create offensively. I know there's people going to bring up age and speed. I can already see it on the text line that's come up, but I'm not sure that's really The factor that's being as much as a factor as people think. I'm seeing unforced errors. I understand that Elias Salomonson is in his first NHL game, and I certainly don't want to pile on somebody who I think made some really good NHL caliber plays over the course of that game, but he factored into 2 goals against there, and this is the reason why I don't rush these guys right into the National Hockey League. The first goal that Washington scored, where they took the initial lead there, was a very defendable 3-on-4. Salomonson needs to turn his head in that play. He's way too close to Samberg. And, he needs some help from his forwards, Kyle Connor in particular, there to help break that play up. But Salomonson's got to turn his head. He's got to get his eye off the puck. He's got to know what's going on.
So I agree. He made some mistakes, but he's fine, right? And when I say fine, what do you expect from a guy?
Well, exactly.
Right?
No, I'm just saying.
You and I are on the same page.
Correct.
We didn't expect him to come in, be mistake-free, and light the world on fire. We expect him to make some mistakes.
Well, we had a text yesterday that somebody said this is the best lineup that they've put together, and I'm just come on, Neil Pionk, give me a break. And of course, I mean the fourth goal. I mean that's just it's a bad bounce. It's a bad giveaway. He's a -2, but again, shows promise in other areas, and he's going to get this stuff cleaned up. The second goal against, it's defensive lapses, and I understand the Jets saying, they can come out and they can be frustrated and saying, every mistake that we're making is finding its way into the back of the net. I don't see them over the course of the game defending hard enough.
Neither do I.
That second goal, and I'm going to point to Gustav Nyquist, and I want to talk more about Nyquist in just a second here. But I see Nyquist on that second goal not competing hard enough. A team like Washington, the coaching staff, I know for a fact, went over how you have to play against the Washington Capitals blue line, who is chewing up defenses. They're top of the league in goals. They're one of the best, top of the league in scoring off the blue line. You have to have more pressure on their blue line. And I'm not sure what Nyquist is doing on that second goal. And the third one, I don't know. You make your own luck. Ovechkin puts the puck over, doesn't hit anybody, finds its way into the net. That's just Ovechkin, But again, that comes from the Jets being unable to get the puck out of their own zone. Turnovers. And so I just see a disjointed team right now that's not putting everything into defending 100%. And that is it. And that's why they're not finding offense. It's because they're not 100% committed to defense.
They're not defending well.
That's what sprung them. And you go ahead, Jim. I know you were
2-time Jennings defending trophy winners with, yes, the best goalie on the planet in net and the Hart Trophy winner. Okay, but he was facing 25 shots a night, if that, 28, sometimes less. Rick Bowness years ago. My goal is to have this team give up less than 25 shots a game. We'll be fine. Then the Jennings trophies start coming in. It's defending. That leads to their offense. That's where they get their offense from. It's defending by forechecking hard. So here's the thing. I'm a real pleasure to watch games with because I have the TV on, but I have Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton and 680 CJB in my ears.
Yeah.
I see this replay being done, and I take the headphones off. I rewind it, and it's Gary Galley doing exactly what I've been saying. And I love Gary Galley, but I'm not promoting myself here. Gary Galley nailed it. He goes, this isn't the Jets I'm used to. Washington defenseman turns in his own end, fires the puck to a teammate at the blue line. He then crosses all 3 lines and goes into the offensive zone unimpeded. The Jets Gary Galley's used to seeing is that guy has a hard time getting that puck to his teammate at his own blue line. And when that teammate gets the puck at his own blue line, he's got to make a play real quick and not carrying it across the zone into the offensive zone because somebody's coming to get him. And he's got to make a pass, and then that pass has to be on the tape because that pass then has to get through the neutral zone, and then there's usually another pass that has to get you in the offensive zone. Last night was to a T of what's harming this team in my mind. Mm-hmm. A Washington D-man turns in his own end, hits his teammate at his own blue line, and that teammate goes through the neutral zone unimpeded into the offensive zone. That's not Jets hockey. Scott Arniel talked about the last 2 games of up the middle, undefended up the middle. When was the last time you saw the up the middle defended prior to this year by the Jets? The goal against Minnesota where Taves has you're off, but Niederreiter loses a battle along the boards. The Minnesota guy takes it behind the net. Stanley's chasing him and loses that battle. And then the guy Yurov comes down the middle and nobody's coming with him. That's not Jets hockey.
They're getting outcompeted.
Now, Jets hockey
they're getting outcompeted.
If Niedermayer loses that battle, I'm accustomed to that. That happens. That's hockey. That's just general hockey. You're going to lose battles. But the next battle isn't lost. And when that next battle is lost, there's coverage down the middle. They're not defending well. And they're giving up too much. And when they go down in games, they're trying to make things happen, and it's costing them.
Mistakes are compounding too. There's one mistake is leading into another one is leading into another one. Reynold texts the show. He says, face it, they're older and slower. Reynold, I want you to go back and watch those goals that they let in last night. Which one of those had to do with the Jets being too old and too slow? Not being able to defend a 3-on-4? An easily defendable 3-on-4, a turnover on their own on their attacking blue line, a floating puck by Ovechkin that gets lost by Eric Comrie. Like not being able to apply pressure to the blue line and defending properly in speed has a factor to play in all that, but it's not underlining older, and it's not. It's if you're looking at, it's just they're old and slow. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going on.
And you're gonna find out when the teams that are young and fast don't make the playoffs. Everybody loves San Jose right now. You think they're playoff bound? Everybody loves Anaheim, and I think Anaheim is playoff bound. But they also have Kreider, Trouba. Yeah. Alex Killorn. It's not just the young guns. It's the veteran players that are defending well with Anaheim and allowing them to make the plays to get the young players up the ice. That's what the Jets aren't doing here. And I also had a text here that said, Jim, how come you aren't as patient with the bottom nine as you are with Logan Stanley? Because Logan Stanley's not in his 30s and still developing. We're talking about 34-year-old veterans that are supposed to put the puck in the net every third game.
Well, here's what
and when you don't defend well, they're not getting the opportunities to do that. And when they are getting the opportunities, they're not doing it. And somebody else says, I have a lot of time for Cole Perfetti. I have a lot of time for Cole Perfetti. But it's been 8 games back. I'll give you 4 to 5. You don't need 18 games to find your groove and how to defend. And he hasn't been defending well, and that's why that Taves line was broken up.
They got to score, but it's like, see, but here's another issue,
I feel
Jim.
for him because I heard him in the postgame, and he's feeling it, right? He's struggling. It's all intense right now because they've lost 3 in a row.
I know.
But you got to defend first, and that'll lead to your offense. He's got 2 points in 8 games. Last year, he had 50 points. Ehlers is gone. Step up.
They got to do it. I mean, there's no other way around it. A trade is not going to happen in this moment that's going to fix anything. It's not going to be the panacea to this team getting in and getting over what they're dealing with right now. And I also want to bring this up, and this is a lot to do with the injuries that the Winnipeg Jets have been facing. But the constant line juggling, I mean, I will say this, and Scott O'Neill's even said it. The reason why the top line is playing so well is because they've played together for how many seasons now? They're in tune with each other. There's been so much line juggling, a lot to do with injuries. Do not get me wrong. But the forward group right now is apparently where it's supposed to be. They have to go back to Morgan, Pearson, and Koepke on the fourth line.
I agree with that.
They have to. That line was working. I know that they're trying to get Gustav Nyquist to go, but I'm sorry, the team is not in a position to get an aging veteran to get his game back. He's got to figure out how to do this. So, I would listen. Third line, you're not going to mess with right now. Analytically, Lowry, Niederreiter, and Scheifele, who they need to score to as well. Analytically, they're again your best line. You're not breaking them up. You're not breaking up the top line. Nemestikov, Taves, and Perfetti have to figure it out. They have to figure it out. I'm putting Nyquist on. I'm healthy scratching him. I am. Because you have to figure out what the heck is going on here.
And I'm at the point where it's about consistency. So I'm harping on Perfetti's defensive play.
Yeah.
Taves, has been fine, but it's trying to find that mix with who he's with. And he's on for a lot of the goals against. And I don't know if every time it's his fault, which most of the time I see it's not.
Well, I agree with that.
And they're trying to find that sequence, right? But if you put Taves back with Perfetti, and Perfetti begins with defending, and shooting more. Shoot the puck, Cole.
I know.
You have to evolve and be like, stop trying to pass when you're right down the middle.
Every time he loses his confidence, he stops shooting. And that's exactly what you need to know.
He tries to make plays.
Every time with Perfetti, man.
And I get it. Like, we're not harping on a guy because he's being a bad teammate.
No.
But every player has to do what they do well. And here's the problem. So I'm harping on Niederreiter today, but Niederreiter, when Lowry came back, I love that line. Remember? I was saying, this is the hardest working line out there. These guys set the tone. These guys they had that great game on Long Island, and then Lowry came back, and then that line was just smoking.
Yep.
But the last couple of games, they got to bury those chances. He goes to the net last night. Do more of that. Go to the net. Fell on Lindgren and all this. It's not like to the texter's point, it goes, how come you don't have patience with the bottom nine? I don't dislike any of these guys. These guys got to go. They need to start figuring it out, though. And I'm with you on the line blending a little bit. I'm never going to claim to know half as much as Scott Arniel. But I think he juggled those lines to get better defensive play, not more offense.
I totally agree with that.
It was costing Taves. The way Perfetti was playing defense since he returned was costing Taves. Like the dashes, the minuses.
The logic behind what Scott Arniel has done with the line juggling is, I think it's logical. I think the logic. I think it makes sense to me. What he's trying, what he's trying to do. I totally am on board with what he's trying to do. But I just think this team is in a position where they need some consistency. They need to play together. Right? You're dealing with...
So you would ride it out, right? You would go, look, we're fighting it right now.
Well,
ride it out.
Well, what I'm seeing is I think that you need to go back to that fourth line that was working at the beginning of the year. You're not going to break up Iafallo, Niederreiter, and Lowry again analytically. You're not touching the top line.
So then
right
you're
now.
stuck with Nemestikov.
Because if you break up, and here's the conversation: is if you break. Scott Arniel this was asked of Scott Arniel yesterday.
Something we thought about, but we've got to challenge the other group. We've got to challenge the other group here to other players to step up and do part of it. Like I've said in the past, if you want to score goals, don't get farther away from that. Get close to that, and this is a time now for us. And we got to go find some greasy goals and some old either rebounds, deflections, those type of goals, and they get one, and hopefully that it kind of spreads throughout our team.
You got one thing going offensively for you is that top line. So I am not touching it because what happens? Yeah. What happens if it doesn't work?
And I hate that when teams. And I know a lot of coaches have done it over the years. Daryl Sutter used to love doing this. He used to see a line put up 22 points in 8 games, and he would break it up to try and get other lines going. And I'm like, there's chemistry there, right? So, and you got the one line going. But I understand you got to get other lines going, and how do you do that without affecting what's going well, right? That's the debate. So I wouldn't break it up. Nemestikov has gone dry too. Nemestikov had a great start to the season, and when those 3 players, Sandberg and Perfetti and Lowry, were out, he provided some offense and stuff, and he's just not now. They're fighting it right now. But to me, it's all from defending. Scott Arniel knows because he was there when Rick Bowness put it in, and then he elevated what they did last year as the head coach. He knows they have to defend better. That's where they're going to get their offense from. I don't even think they're trying to find a defense to go along with offense. I think they're trying to figure out the defensive game to get offense.
That's exactly right.
It's not to augment the offense they have. It's to get more.
It's absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And that is on why I'm going veteran players. You've got to step up. You've got to start winning more battles. You've got to defend that way. A guy cannot pass to his teammate and have him go through 3 zones unimpeded.
Defense to offense, defense to offense, defense to offense. That's what's worked for this team. That's why they're not scoring right now, is they're not defending hard enough. The Jets need to defend hard enough. Let's take
end of the day quickly. Yeah. It was 4-3. They were in the game.
Well, it's because the top line is providing all the offense right now.
That's because they're a good team that's not playing well. That's why I'm with you on the trade front and stuff. He's toughest job in coaching. We're a really good team that's not playing well. How do I get them to play well?
They're there. I mean, like I'm saying, can the Jets turn this thing around tomorrow in Carolina and start playing well? Absolutely.
This is a team the past couple of years who would lose 3 in a row and go into Carolina, and everybody on the text line is going to say, they don't have a good record in Carolina, blah, blah, blah. I've seen them when they were struggling go into Carolina, win a game, and then propel themselves to
I'm seeing the text messages. The team's 12-10, start the sell-off, all this stuff. The negativity is starting to eke in. This is a good hockey team, and they have to figure it out, but they got to take care and do what they do best. We'll be right back when we return. Time for your text message. We got to give away their VIP car wash. Don't go anywhere.
Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Welcome back. Forte, do I have to do any more I need one more Boston Pizza read, don't I?
That's correct.
Mr. Chance, get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6868. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. Free for all Friday tomorrow. Chris Pronger is going to be joining the show on Monday. Looking forward to that. Congratulations to Reynald. He is our winner of the VIP car wash.
Renault?
Or Renault. Yeah, I think it's Renault. It's not Reynald. I think it's
I don't think it's Reynald though.
Reynald. I don't.
Reynald.
Then my French.
Text us and let us know, Reynald.
I know.
Enjoy the romance.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for texting the show. Appreciate it.
Sorry,
go ahead,
buddy.
And you have an update on Jets practice.
Mike McIntyre of the Free Press, who was on the pregame show yesterday here on 680 CJOB's in North Carolina as the team is out in the skate. He reports, quote, some good news. Neil Pionk is out here in a regular sweater. Only players he doesn't see because it's an optional skate are Scheifele, Connor, Lowry, Taves, Nemestikov, Iafallo. There's no Arneal on the ice. There's assistants only. But this is interesting. Mike McIntyre goes on to report one potential interesting thing from the skate. Dylan Sandberg typically warms up the starting goalie for the next game. It's his thing. He was firing pucks at Thomas Milic, not Eric Comrie today. There's no morning skate tomorrow, so he won't know till the lineup or the warm-ups. Perhaps Milic versus Carolina Friday, Comrie versus Nashville Saturday. I don't mind this move.
I don't either.
You put Comrie in and you lose, and then Milic against Nashville. Carolina's going to be a tough game. I don't mind giving a rookie goalie his first game on the road against a tough team because maybe you step up, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you're nervous and you get pumped for 7. Who knows?
Yeah, but you know what? It happens.
This is the pros, right? This isn't, junior, whatever. You challenge a guy to be good and come in. And Carolina also just saw Comrie less than a week ago. So they have a book on him, right? Give him somebody they're not looking forward to. Maybe he gets you a win. But also, Comrie against Nashville, Buffalo Monday, you need to start getting some wins. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. That's from Mike McIntyre of the Free Press, who's in North Carolina, North Carolina.
Thank you very much to Jeffrey Forte for producing the show. Great job,
Jeffrey. Thanks a lot, and thanks for listening, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the show. Even
though
I think it's your
problem,
it's your job.
What I get paid to do.
Yeah, you do get paid to do it.
Yeah.
Unlike our unfortunate listeners who just do it on their own.
But
we pay you too. We give you car washes.
Jim told to take you all the way.
And deals at BP.
That's right. Jim told to take you all the way until 2 o'clock. That's it for me. I'll be back same time tomorrow. See ya.